Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
9 o'clock.
Factual, insightful, and credible. It's Nationwide News Now at 9.
Good morning, I'm Andrew Cannon. Coming up in the news at 9 for this morning, Saturday, October 5, 2024. The St. James Police are searching for a taxi driver who used his vehicle to mow down a policeman in Granville yesterday. Former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson says he's utterly dismayed by any consideration to abolish August 1 as Emancipation Day and August 6 as Independence Day. The JCF and JDF launch Interagency Operations Forum to intensify assault on gangs. In news from the region, investigations are continuing into Barbados Revenue Authority BRA data breach. On the international scene, Israel and Hezbollah report clashes near Lebanese border as airstrikes hit Beirut. While in sports, Tivoli Gardens take on Waterhouse in the feature match of a doubleheader in the Royal Navy Premier League and at the Anthony Spalding Complex on Sunday. The details after this. The St. James Police are on the hunt for the driver of a Toyota Probox motor car who mowed down a policeman in Granville on Friday. Commanding Officer for St. James, Superintendent Aaron Samuels, says the policeman fell down a precipice after being hit by the taxi.
Approximately 3:10 p.m., the police officers assigned to the St. James Division were conducting a roadblock exercise along the Granville Main Road vicinity, St. John's, when one officer signaled a white Toyota Probox to stop. The Probox slowed down, but upon reaching close to the police officer, the Probox sped up, hitting the police officer, sending him over a precipice roughly around 50 to 70 feet deep. The police officer was rescued from that precipice. However, he was unconscious but still alive and breathing. He was taken to the Cornwall Regional Hospital where he is now in a serious but stable condition.
The taxi driver is still on the run. Superintendent Samuels is calling on the public to assist the police in locating the taxi driver and its occupants.
We have not been able to identify the plate number for the Probox, but we are asking for the public's support in finding this white Toyota Probox, said to be one of the newer ones. We believe that there is some damage to the front of the vehicle, so we're asking for help in locating this vehicle and also the driver and the occupants of this vehicle. It is believed that this vehicle may have been transporting illegal weapons, and we want to ensure that we bring these persons to justice. So we are seeking the public support in identifying this vehicle and also the occupants of this vehicle.
Superintendent Aaron Samuels, commanding officer for St. James. A man died as a result of injuries he sustained in a crash on the Mount Olivet Main Road in Manchester Friday night. He is 26-year-old Jerome Cassie, a landscaper and resident of Hanbury in the parish. Police reports are that about 7:45 p.m. a Suzuki Jimmy was traveling towards Spalding when it failed to keep left and went into the right lane. In doing so, it collided with the motorcycle driven by Cassie. The rider was flung from the motorcycle on impact. Cassie was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson says he's utterly dismayed by what he calls considerations to abolish August 1 as Emancipation Day and August 6 as Independence Day. He was responding to proposals from the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica for the creation of a single extended weekend holiday period, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. However, in a statement on Friday, the former Prime Minister said such a move would be a retrograde step and a severe violation of our ancestry. Mahiri Stewart tells us more.
The private sector group pointed out that the current arrangement of having two major holidays in such close proximity often results in extended periods of reduced productivity as many workers and businesses bridge the gap between these dates with additional time off. This phenomenon, it says, can disrupt economic momentum. However, Mr. Patterson says the distinct dates mark unique periods, one of commemoration and the other of celebration. He says it would be a betrayal of Jamaican efforts to promote its own identity as a people. The former Prime Minister says his is not a partisan political position nor an expression of doubt on the accuracy of the Anderson poll, which was commissioned by the Ministry of Culture. However, he says to determine where we are going, we must know from whence we came. Mr. Patterson says the decision to restore Emancipation Day on August 1 and Independence Day on August 6 was not taken lightly. He says it emanated from a committee chaired by Rex Nettleford to examine how national symbols and observances could contribute to sustaining cultural unity and fostering national values to renew the soul and uplift the spirit of our people and arrest social alienation. Mr. Patterson says the idea that the present separation from Independence Day is inconvenient to some and causes discomfort must be firmly rejected. He says comfort and convenience cannot be the country's response to the deaths and atrocities of the Middle Passage. The former Prime Minister says recent polls supporting the adjustment of the celebration period are not surprising. He says succeeding generations have not been educated enough, or at all, about the nation's heritage in its entirety. He says the country's focus cannot be to enjoy a holiday weekend of fun and frolic, which obscures the significance of these two memorable milestones in the life of our nation. Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force and the Jamaica Defence Force have launched an interagency operations forum to intensify assault on gangs. This is the Interagency Operations Forum, IOF, under the National Assault on Gangs Initiative. The move is a decisive one to enhance the coordination between the nation's security forces in their efforts to dismantle criminal gangs that pose the greatest threat to national security. The forum will be co-chaired by Deputy Commissioner in charge of Strategic Operations Warren Clark and Colonel Damian Crary of the JDF. The Interagency Operations Forum comprises key members of the JCF's area commanders, JDF battalion commanders, and representatives from the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency. It will serve as a central point for planning, intelligence sharing, and operational coordination across the country. The initiative is part of a broader strategy to degrade and eliminate violent gangs, which continue to drive much of Jamaica's serious crime. The forum will operate under the Jamaica Joint Task Force, which is led by commanders from the JCF Specialized Operations and the JDF's Combat Support Battalion. Together, these entities will coordinate efforts to apprehend gang leaders, disrupt illicit activities, and reduce violent crime in key hotspots. Chief Executive Officer of the GraceKennedy Group, Don Webby, is set to take temporary leave of absence from his position. In a statement to the staff on Friday, Mr. Webby says after careful consideration, he decided to take the leave to focus on his health. Mr. Webby notes that the decision was a difficult choice, but considers it in the best interest of both himself and the group. According to Mr. Webby, the GK Group's Chief Financial Officer, Andrew Macedo, will assume responsibility for the day-to-day operations of the company. Mr. Macedo has worked with the GraceKennedy Group for 25 years and served as director since 2019. During his absence, Mr. Webby says he will remain involved at the strategic level. To news now in the region, amid calls for authorities to come clean on the full extent of this week's Barbados Revenue Authority BRA data breach, Minister of Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology, Marsha Cadell, says the teams investigating the incident must be given time to do their work. She has also insisted that the government has so far done what is required by law as far as what it has shared with the public is concerned and is in the process of strengthening critical government data and systems. The BRA on Tuesday reported what had so far appeared to be a leak of vehicle registration information, while the hackers offering the 230 gigabytes of data said it included national and foreign passports, ID cards, driving licenses, financial transactions, vehicle registrations, company incorporation documents, customs documentation, license payment invoices, and medical certificates. In a video released to the media on Thursday, which she appeared with Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance Ryan Strachan, Calder said forensic and other experts on the incident response team that was created after the breach was discovered are still carrying out their investigations. On the international scene, Israel and Hezbollah report more fighting in southern Lebanon as Israel's ground offensive continues. Hezbollah claims it repelled an Israeli offensive overnight, with fighting ongoing on Saturday, while Israel says it's carrying out targeted raids. More Israeli airstrikes hit Beirut after the Israeli military warned people in a southern suburb to evacuate. Further north in the Lebanese city of Tripoli, Israeli airstrikes reportedly killed a Hamas leader. Meanwhile, Hezbollah says it fired rockets at an Israeli airbase near Haifa. Let's now turn to sports. Tivoli Gardens take on Waterhouse in the feature match of a doubleheader in the Royal Navy Jamaica Premier League at the Anthony Sporting Complex on Sunday. Both teams will be hoping to return to winning ways after suffering defeats in Week 3 of the competition. Tivoli were beaten 2-1 by Portmore United, while Waterhouse went down 2-0 against champions Cavalier. Meanwhile, Malines United faced Chapelton Maroons in the other match. In other fixtures, Humberland lock horns with Harbourview at the Effortville Community Centre, and Ferdinand Park will come alive when Portmore United host their United. And now to recap the top stories making the news at 9. The St. James Police are searching for a taxi driver who used his vehicle to mow down a policeman in Granville yesterday. Former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson says he's utterly dismayed by any consideration to abolish August 1 as Emancipation Day and August 6 as Independence Day. The JCF and JDF launch interagency operations forum to intensify assault on gangs. And in news from the region, investigations are continuing into Barbados Revenue Authority BRA data breach. I'm Andrew Cannon. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at midday.
You've just heard Nationwide News Now at 9.
We a big deal when we touch ground. Yeah, I can see what we